But now and again, there is still a comment, and I don't mind them. You know what I mean? I mean, putting yourself out there, you're going to get negative comments, but they're not really negative. It's just I get tired of hearing feel the music. I'm still feeling the music. It's not like I'm playing to just a click track with no music. I'm still feeling the music completely. And that's how I keep good time. And you know what I mean? In fact, you get sometimes, depending on how fast the song is, and I'm working on this with faster songs, the reason I keep good time is because I kind of move my entire body. So that gets a bit chaotic. I am.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the All Music Matters in That podcast. I'm your host, Brian, and joining me today all the way from the UK is the one and the only Drums by Ash Wells. How you doing, brother?
Hi. Good, man. Really good to finally talk to you, man. We've been in contact for a while. So, yeah, thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we've jumped around a little bit because I've always kind of turned to you for some of the advice on trying to get some of the exposure on my YouTube channel a little bit more. So, actually, I really thank you for that, too. And
yeah, no problem. Anytime.
You are too kind, good sir. That's what I've been meaning to say for quite a while.
You're very welcome.
All right. So this podcast, I wanted to get to know like other drummers, and it was inspired by some other drummers like Drumman 190s, his 5 Strokes at 5 podcast that he's done. I have also seen Drummer's Key with I don't know if we call it a podcast, maybe more of like a kind of little talk show if we want to call it that.
Yeah.
With, his Under the Covers, and each one of those kind of like inspired me a little bit. So I wanted to also get out to be a little bit more interactive with drummers and then eventually work out to other musicians. So I got some questions for you. So
okay,
you ready?
Fire away.
All right. I'm actually pretty excited. Here we go.
Okay.
All right. So let's start off a little bit. Tell us a little bit about yourself on just more strictly the drum side, because I know it's a pretty broad topic to talk about.
About what, sorry?
Just tell us a little bit about yourself, mainly your drum history.
My drum history isn't actually that long. So I started playing would be 3 years ago in about a month's time. So in 2019, my wife bought me a birthday present of 4 drum lessons. She found a local guy called John Joy, who I'm still with. His link's on my website. After me telling her, you know, it's been a lifelong ambition for me to want to play the drums. I don't even know when I said that to her, but she remembered, got me the lessons, and then that was it. I've been hooked, and pretty much for 3 years, a lesson every single week. I mean, I think we skip a week at Christmas. Now we're again, we will skip a lesson because he does some gigs, so he does some performances, but very rarely. So pretty much every week for 3 years, I've had drum lessons.
That was pretty sweet. Did you play like any instrument before drums, or?
No, well, kind of. When I started our secondary school, which you would say high school, I started playing the guitar, but I never really got that good at it. I don't know why. My mum then found me a tutor outside of school because I didn't really like the one at school, and that was going good. I don't know. I was a different person then. I didn't put the energy into it that I put into my drums now. If I had put the same energy in, I probably would. We wouldn't be talking. I'd be a guitarist.
Yeah.
I think.
No, I think at some point we might have been talking, but maybe it would have came a lot later than it is right now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I guess your drum set, was it an acoustic set or was it the current set that you've been playing on?
Yeah, so my drum teachers, or you know, first drum kit I played was my teacher's, and he pretty much had can't remember the exact model. He's changed since, but it was a TD50 was the brains of it, but it was big. It was an E kit, but he used it for gigging. It's very close to being an acoustic. You know what I mean? It's a mock acoustic one. And then I got a very, very cheap electric kit. It cost me like 50 pounds off of, I don't know if you got Facebook Marketplace in America, where you can buy stuff online through Facebook, or you can advertise your own stuff. It was through that. And it cost me like 50 quid. Because I thought, well, I'm not going to spend a lot of money if I'm not going to really pick this up. But I did. So I had my eye out on a Roland TD1 DMK. Absolutely loved it. Still love it. The only real reason I changed it was because the brains of it is very basic. I mean, it's got a metronome. You can record yourself. There's like coach games, but it was very, very basic. You know what I mean? So yeah, I upgraded after about a year of having it. Was it 2 years? It's nearly 2 years of having it, I think. And then when I was researching, of course, I spotted the TD17KVX. Now, that version has the proper hi-hat. So I only had a pedal on the floor for a hi-hat. I didn't have, you know, the same feeling. So I was like, okay, well, that's worth it. And my drum teacher knew somebody who was selling one at a very good price. And just, it was almost a spur of the moment. Not completely spur of the moment because I'd researched the kit, but it happened really quickly. It was like drum lesson on the Sunday, put me in contact with the guy. Tuesday, I picked it up. So I've had that one ever since. I don't think I'm going to change anything. I've changed the ride to a bigger ride. I like a big bell. But yeah, at the moment, I really don't think I'm toying with the idea of having a bigger floor tom. But apart from that, I don't think I'm going to change anything on it. I'm thrilled with it, especially the TD17 brains. It's immense. It's got more stuff on there that I need, but it's good to have that if I need it.
Yeah, that's especially true because the electric sets kind of take away some of the limitations that acoustic sets give you with like tuning and then being able to like change the sound to like you can automatically change it to like a pop kind of sound or maybe do rock and stuff like that. So that's always cool with the electric sets.
I'm starting to play with that a bit more. So I have got some different kits that I'm trying out. Now I'm playing heavier stuff. I use a Metallica inspired kit for that real heavy sound. I like to use the Tama kit on there. It's pretty cool. But the actual stock acoustic kit, number one kit on there, I actually really like. And I think about 80% of my covers is that one.
Yeah. Was that the same one you used when we did our collaboration with the Beastie Boys?
I should really note in the comments what kit I used. I probably did just use the acoustic. I think I don't remember using a different one, but I do really need to start recording that and noting it down.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you keep an acoustic set in your house or
no? Never had one. Again, another reason. If I got an acoustic set, I think there'd be a riot. You know, the neighbors would complain. I haven't got space for it. And you know, as a YouTube drummer, I mean, the recording process is so simple, right? I mean, with acoustic set, don't get me wrong, I'd love the technology, like all those microphones and the mixer and everything.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. But again, just USB, boom. So yeah, so I've never played an acoustic. I got nothing against them at all.
Okay.
I would probably want, if I had the opportunity to get one, if sound or money wasn't an issue. I'd probably be drawn to the Tama kits. I think I like what I'm seeing and hearing. But yeah, I just don't think it's ever going to happen. I'll be honest.
Which part of the UK are you in? Are you in Yorkshire?
So no, that's way up north.
Way up north. Okay.
So if this is north, if this is Yorkshire, we're southwest. Not quite as low as the coast, but there's kind of the Cotswold around Bath, Bristol, Swindon, that area. So a vast area in the southwest.
I was actually in the UK, not to get off topic, but just to kind of share a little bit of history. And that was pre-pandemic. That was back in 2019 when me and my parents and actually a group of fellow travelers, we came to London real briefly. Are you not too far away from London?
It depends how you travel. I can get to Paddington Station in about an hour and 20 minutes. If I were to drive to London, it's probably 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you walk, it'll take about a day.
Yeah, if you want.
If you want. Yeah. Well, I'm starting to pick up the bikes now, so maybe going to be like doing like a Tour de France pretty soon.
Yeah, on one of the Boris bikes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Get back into the drumming. Talk a little about your YouTube channel. How did you start off, and was it just doing drum covers originally?
Yeah, so after a solid year of learning the drums, I don't know why I did it. I think me and John had got to the point where I was just finishing the grade one book, and it really wasn't until then that, apart from the songs he was getting me to do and that I was learning, that I would choose my own song, find my own music, and record it myself. So I started doing that, and I thought I would start recording it just to put it on actually my Facebook. I didn't have YouTube at the time. I thought, yeah, let me just stick it on Facebook and show my friends. I don't think I've told you guys, I've been learning the drums for a year. Here's what it looks like. And then it just snowballed from there. It kind of got a good reception. And then I started, I think, I'll have to check my channel, but I think the next song I actually did independently, so separate to my drum teacher had given me it to do. I think it was Coldplay Yellow, I want to say. I think that was the first track that I was like, yeah, I get the music myself. I'll do it all myself. And then it clicked. It was like, oh my God, technically I could play any song if I can play it, but I can get the drum sheet music, I can make the video, I can get the song, I can actually do this. And that's when it clicked. And I just started from there, really. Yeah.
What was I always thought your videos were interesting because you actually use drum music or drum sheet music because that's actually the first time I've seen that. And that kind of reminisces back to my old days because I actually did an interview with Eric Henninger not too long ago. And I told him I used to be a strings guy. And of course, we had the little sheet music. Oops, sorry. We had the sheet music and everything. So obviously, it's a lot more toned down, getting back in the old, given that we were young and probably not as experienced doing all the complex stuff that the symphony would do and stuff like that. What made you want to use sheet music? Did it just really help out?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this a lot because I knew it would come out. I don't know any other way. Like, I'm still very in my infancy as learning the drums. It's 3 years. I don't know another way of playing the drums. I think there has been 3 tracks on my YouTube that I haven't used it for. No, 4 now. Well, kind of, 3.5. So there was a band my sister likes called Travis. And I couldn't find their sheet music. And for her 40th birthday, I recorded one of their songs. And I transcribed it myself. And I think it was pretty accurate, but I actually wrote it down myself. So I kind of used it, but I had to write it myself. It wasn't perfect, but it was my first stab at it. And then there was an England football song that I did during the Euros that I couldn't find sheet music for, but I kind of worked it out. And then the other one, that recent Blindfold cover of Are You Gonna Go My Way, Lenny Kravitz. I did record it first with the drum sheet music, but of course Blindfolded is 2 things for me: blind vision and blind to the music. But I managed to do it. But yeah, there's no other way I know of playing. And this originally came up a lot when I started on YouTube, first of all as a negative thing. And I remember it almost like I converted a couple of people because people were like, oh, just play the song, feel the song. And then even some of them about a month later would be like, you know what, Ash, you're playing note for note perfect drum covers. Ignore what I said. Just keep doing what you're doing. And then it's turned into, wow, I wish I could sight read, especially when now I'm playing faster songs and harder songs. It's not just that it's the sight reading and playing at the same time. So actually the Blindfold cover wasn't that complicated because I'm like this. So I'm not always looking at my kit anyway. But now and again, there is still a comment, and I don't mind them. You know what I mean? I mean, putting yourself out there, you're going to get negative comments, but they're not really negative. It's just I get tired of hearing, feel the music. I'm still feeling the music. It's not like I'm playing to just a click track with no music. I'm still feeling the music completely. And that's how I keep good time. And you know what I mean? In fact, you get sometimes, depending on how fast the song is, and I'm working on this with faster songs, the reason I keep good time is because I kind of move my entire body. So that gets a bit chaotic. I am feeling the music regardless of how I'm reading the music. So that's the only thing that annoys me slightly. But yeah, I have no other way of playing. I couldn't tell you. I could have a play around, but my thing is very much note for note, perfect drum covers, or at least I attempt to. And I don't think I could do it without sheet music. But then I'm only as good as my sheet music in front of.
Yeah, that's how I kind of do my covers, but not really with the sheet music, but more of doing it by ear. So, so when I record the song into it, I try to play it as best I can with the MIDI notes on my DAW. So And afterwards, you just go in and edit, trying to boost up notes, and then take out any ghost notes that it picks up for whatever reason. And
Yeah, that's another thing I changed when I changed kit. So my first kit was the TD1 was just MIDI only. So, not I didn't try to do it a lot, but I would do some post editing. If I hit something wrong, okay, I could correct it. I didn't do it a lot. But then as soon as I got the TD17, yes, I can do that, but I don't use MIDI now. I just record the audio. And what will be, will be. If it's a good take, it's a good take. And in fact, I have stopped trying to be a perfectionist. If something goes wrong and it's not too bad, or if it's after about a minute and a half, because my average watch time is about a minute and a half per cover, I'm like, okay, I've done my minute and a half. Let's see what happens now. I don't get too obsessed with it, I guess is my point. And I like to prove that it is live. And yeah, I leave mistakes in just to show it's real, I think.
absolutely, yeah, it's best to. Well,
Yeah.
it also shows too that you're human, and it's like if it's like one of the more longer songs, it's like okay, I was already into it, and I can't really just cancel and just try to pick up where I left off. But that's kind of how I've done some of mine. Like maybe I'll just play a certain part of the song that I had a little trouble with. So
Yeah.
or if it was like a lot harder and I messed up on a note like here and there. So I know that's what happened with some of my covers. So it is a little frustrating too. And it's like I just missed two notes. I got to get it right. So unfortunately, there's that perfectionism that accidentally talks too. But it's one of those things you probably shouldn't let it take over, so that you don't waste so much time just trying to like get it right, so to speak.
Yeah, there was two recent songs. I can't remember which ones, but I literally missed up the last note and I left it in because based on one last note, I'm not going to go back and do this entire thing again.
Nobody really said anything. It was all good.
No, apart from one was quite funny because I think I dropped the stick and a couple people said, well, fair shout for leaving that in. I was like, yeah, you damn right. I'm not doing an entire song for literally the last beat of the song. Yeah. I really can't remember what song it was, but I got a terrible memory thinking of stuff like that.
Nah, it's one of the things. Life comes first, and everything just starts taking over and everything. I guess going to the next question. What do you like most about drumming?
Yeah, I've been thinking long and hard about this. And I almost had to remind myself a little bit. Sorry, I took some notes. Give me a second. Because it was one of those questions. It was like, what do I enjoy about the drums? You know what I mean? If you had said that to me in my first year of playing, I'd probably have been like instant. But it's because it's something I do now. I've really had to think about it. So for me, I think it's a really unique instrument, right? I mean, it's percussion. It's really, and it's the backbeat of all music, isn't it? Even modern day electronic music that doesn't actually use drummers, but it's all synthesized. It's the backbeat of the song. And for me, the motion of playing it, I love how physical it is. Now, I don't do a lot of exercise, and it's almost like the only exercise I do. I love how physical it is, and I love, like I said, when I play a song and I'm feeling it, I can feel it in my whole body. So it's just, I don't know, it's really hard to describe, man. You know what I mean? So I've really struggled with this question. I just think it's cool at the end of the day, right? It's cool.
It makes us cool kids.
Yeah, and I remember when I first started my YouTube channel, and first time I ever played the song all the way through, it's just there's no better feeling of it. So now that is when I'm trying a harder song that I've been working on. Usually my epic series, those are quite hard songs for me. So once I'm ready to record it just feels great. Yeah, it feels great.
There's also like the exercise routine that comes with it, since you're working pretty much everything in your body, and especially the more harder songs we have to play fast.
Yeah.
It really causes the muscles to really work too. And I've noticed that too when I've messed around with even some groups from the UK, like Napalm Death and Bolfor, like those kind of groups, when they go the darker scene of the UK, we should say, if we want to call it the darker scene.
Yeah, we can be moody over here.
Mood swings, stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently it's a bipolar, disorderly child. That's the UK, I guess, if we want to call it that.
Definitely.
Your YouTube channel, you've really kind of expanded a little bit. You now kind of got your own little merch shop, and this is also where you can talk about your charity, too. because you've incorporated your
Yeah,
charity and you seem to be doing a lot of things. I guess jumping into your
yeah.
charity and your merch store, how'd you start those?
Well, the charity thing I was thinking about doing for a while, and I couldn't decide what charity to do. And then it just kind of fell in place. It was like, well, of course, it's the school that helped Thomas, so it's a personal thing. And it was all I was always going to do something along the lines of autism, but this one just happens to be very, very close to home. There is a national charity for that, but actually, I could do one even better and bring it down to a charity that supported my son. And then the merch store, to be honest, the merch store is only created because of the charity. I'm not expecting people to buy this t-shirt or my stickers and it'd be cool if they did, don't get me wrong. But it was more to be able to sell charity merchandise. So I'm hoping that will sell because if you buy, now I've got a sticker, a poster, a mug and a t-shirt all with a charity logo that the great dramatic Eric designed for me, who is a legend. And really it was for that. And also I wanted my own t-shirt. Like there's actually two in existence now. The one I gave away, just got to Joey Clark, who won my giveaway. So it was just for that really. So again, my merch store is there for the charity, for a giveaway, for this one t-shirt. Oh, and I got a a Tech Hub hoodie, as well. But yeah, I'm not looking to make a fortune, but the two things happened at the same time. And it happened when I was going to hit 1,000 subs. So what better time to do it when I hit 1,000 subs? Because I see a lot of people that do these merch stores or donate to me on PayPal or anything like that. And I think, well, let me build my numbers first before I do that. And what I mean? I'm not looking to make any money out of being a drummer. So I'm hoping my influence and stuff, if I could earn money, that money can go straight to the charity. I'm not going to, it's copyright music. I'm not going to make money off of somebody else's music. So I may as well do good with it, and do the charity work. Yeah. So that's gone really well, especially this, the charity fundraiser that we're doing, the drum collaboration contest, which you have entered, sir. Thank you very much. And thank you for your donation. Again, that was kind of two birds, one stone. So since I started the drum collaboration two drums group, I wanted to do a drum collaboration contest. And it was thinking out, okay, the ins and the outs, how can I do it? And you don't want to enter a contest where, okay, the prize is just one of my t-shirts or the title of best collaboration. It's like, how can I get prizes for it? Well, actually, people are very charitable, and all these donations I've raised for the prize fund has made it an epic collaboration. I mean? There's like £500 worth of prizes being donated for this. So that was two birds, one stone, raising money for charity and doing this contest that I always wanted to do. So it's often I'm always combining my ideas, and they seem to just gel together, and it just happens. So yeah, there's another week to get your entries in. And then on the 24th, I announced the entries. And then on the 30th, we'll do the result. So I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. We'll talk more about that after the call here. But I know me and Joshua Drummer, we had entered that contest too, doing our...
Oh, it's great.
For the audience out there who doesn't know, we're doing In the End by Linkin Park. And we put that up on our YouTube channels too. Great
tune. Yeah, good. Solid entry. So at the time of recording this, we've got 7 entries at the moment. I'm hoping for about 10. If it's no more than 7 now, I'm satisfied with that. And so far we've raised £243 for charity.
Oh, that's sweet, man.
Yeah.
You got a true heart of gold. I gotta mention that. You are a true gentleman. That's what we'll say. And I know Eric, he said he and Joey Clark, they entered theirs in, and
yeah, that's no spoilers in here. We'll wait for the entries to be announced, but yeah, they've got a solid cover. Solid, yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So I guess if nobody else has gotten into it, I guess there is still time. Make sure you contact Ash Wells here for it. I guess how can he reach you to get involved in that contest?
Yeah, so obviously I'm on all the socials. There's at least 2 videos on my YouTube channel about it, because I had a last minute donation from Drumeo, so as one of the prizes. So I did a quick video then. And yeah, it's on my website as well, on how to enter. I think the last day you can enter is the 1 minute to midnight on the 23rd of April. So this next Friday. is the last day you can enter. So there's still time. There's still time.
That's sweet. All right. You heard it here from this man. All right. So I was trying to think if there was anything else to kind of talk about with your charity or everything else you're doing on your YouTube channel. Oh, yeah. With the live streams, too, you talked about your Epic series. I guess what made you start that? Because I did see your one from some 41s in Too Deep. So
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
what made you start doing like live streams?
I can't remember what milestone it was. I'm trying to think, but I did a live Q&A. I really can't remember what. I think it was 500, I think. And yeah, so I did a live Q&A, which went really well. And I kind of got the bug because remember, I'd never performed in front of an audience, no one. Never been on a stage. So this is my stage. And at that live Q&A, I didn't announce I was doing it because I didn't know how I would feel at the time. But I performed Enter Sandman by Metallica, which at that point was my favorite track I performed. And I thought I could do it really well. So I just performed it and it went over really well. And it was more working out the logistics as well, right? It's one thing recording a cover. It's another thing having that set up and doing it over the internet straight away. And it just grew from there. And then I thought, I might be onto something here. So I thought, well, if I do a monthly live stream, I'll do a monthly one. The last Saturday of every month, I'll always do one. Well, that gives me a month to work on a track. And this is when I started slowing down. So in my second year as a YouTuber, I was doing 2 covers a week. It was too much. And it started becoming a chore. And I'm really glad I stopped doing it because now I do the one a week. I spend time on that. But then I was spending time on them on my monthly. So I thought, right, well, let's call it an epic series because it's an epic song. So it's harder for me. I spend more time on it. And then I record it as just a normal cover. And then I perform it live as well. So that's how that came about, really, just from that live Q&A. And I'm just hooked on it. And it's really given me confidence. Like, before I was doing the live shows, if you had contacted me and said, oh, do you want to do this podcast? I would no. No, I'm too shy to talk to anybody. It brings you out of your shell big time. I've got no qualms with talking to anyone now. So if any drummers just want to call me up, just call me. I'm a chatterbox. But yeah, so it's cool. And like I said, you guys are my audience. So that is the closest I've ever got to gigging. My stage is my drum kit.
Yeah.
And of course, that's adapted. If you look at every single live stream up into the last one, I've added cameras, I've added lighting, and now I've got my 3-camera setup. So it's almost done the same way that I do a drum cover. You've got my 3 angles, and it's working really well.
That's pretty sweet. I guess now jumping into COVID, how bad did it impact UK and I guess you personally?
Yeah, it was crazy, man. So I remember the day that our Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced it on TV. It was like something from a movie. You know what I mean? Like in a disaster movie where the president is announcing, there's a meteor coming to Earth. It was like, what is going on? And yeah, we didn't leave the house for a month, which was a big challenge to begin with. My work, I think we knew it was coming for about half a week before we were actually in lockdown. We were told to just work from home. Now, luckily, the ability of my job, I always had that option to work from home. So work wasn't such a stress, but then they announced that I was going to be furloughed. I don't know if you had that in the States. Did you have furlough?
I know, me personally, I never had to deal with it, but they do furlough workers.
Yeah.
It depends on, I guess, what industry it is. So
yeah. So I was furloughed for 5 months. So I literally didn't do anything for 5 months and got paid 80% of my salary, which is not a bad thing.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It's still good.
But what do you think I did with those 5 months? I progressed my drumming. So yes, it was horrendous. And in this country, at one point we had a day where the death toll was 1,000 in one day. So that really hurt home. So when you told me about this question, I was thinking about it. Yeah, there was certain points that were just horrible. The day we went into lockdown, the day we had 1,000 deaths. And then Christmas got cancelled about 2 days before. It was like, oh, you could see up to 6 people. It was like, no, you can't see anyone. Cancelled. So that was tough, not having Christmas as we would normally have. But now it seems to be coming back to normal. And for me, the positives that have come out of it, my drumming, I would not have progressed so quickly. My YouTube channel wouldn't have grown so much. I did a lot around the house. I ended up decorating like three of our rooms, spending time in the garden, time with the kids, which was pretty special. So a lot of positives did come out of it. But yeah, those were the scary points for me. Yeah.
I will say, doing all these interviews, it seems like, at least for us drummers, it seems like COVID had been a blessing in disguise, allowing us to expand our skills as well as perhaps engaging in other projects with other drummers. So,
Yeah.
and it's like you said, yeah, it was a shame what happened with a lot of people who had passed away because of COVID now. And I know in the U.S. it's become such a political talking point. I don't know how bad it is in the UK. Is it as bad as the US?
Well, this is the thing. It's as soon as they took away, right, most people were vaccinated 3 times now. So the vaccine kind of rollout is done. There is a booster one now. They no longer report, since they haven't made it, basically they took away that it was mandatory that you had to self-isolate if you got it. And now they're charging for tests now. So people have pretty much stopped testing because you have to pay for it. And it's almost become, it's come just like a common cold now. You know what I mean? I still know people that are getting it. I mean, you certainly don't hear in the press how it's hitting hospitals, but I don't know if that's because of the war in Ukraine. Obviously, that's the news at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's because it's not really in the media. It's like it has disappeared, but we always still know it's here. We're just living with it now, and it's one of those things. But I've never caught it. Did you get it?
I never did. No, I was very fortunate here, but I know with the vaccine shots, I don't think I had any problems with the booster. No, I think it was the second shot. I didn't exactly feel the greatest. It wasn't anything serious, but I think I had some chills and maybe it felt weird. Like I felt like I was feeling something on my spinal cord or something, but it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't anything serious, but I think it was just the body adapting to 2 shots within 2 weeks. So
the vaccination. Well, all I know is the first one, my arm, it felt like someone had pounded my arm, and I missed 1 day of drum practice. That's the only negative that came out of it. I couldn't play drums for like a day. That was it. Everything. The rest were fine.
Yeah, mine actually, it made me feel more tired of anything. So I think I just wanted to go and just lay in bed for a good while. Just be like, let me sleep, that sort of thing. So, I guess, how do you think Britain handled it? Did you agree with your prime minister's actions towards COVID? Not to get political, but I just want to see.
I think the vaccination rollout was historical, and that was really what got us out of the pandemic. Like I said, the furlough scheme, I didn't work for 5 months and I had no financial difficulty because I was still getting 80% of my salary. Come on, man, that's awesome.
That's a
you know what I mean?
Break, yeah.
Like if you think about every time this country's gone through drama, I was told all you have to do is stay at home. Okay, I'll stay at home. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think with those things, I mean, there was little snags along the way that I can't remember, so it couldn't have been that bad. But of course, the media hypes everything up. But I think the vaccination rollout, the furlough scheme, and yeah, even though it was difficult, I think we had like 3 or 4 lockdowns. There was times they got it a bit wrong. Like for example, it must have been January 2021, the kids after school, they went back to school for a day and then they closed them down again. It was like, why send them back for a day and then put us in lockdown again? That was the only thing I can really remember. That was like assholes.
Yeah, no, it's gotten pretty hectic over here. It's a lot worse in the US. I'm just going to say that much. I, for one, been fortunate because I've just been working from home actually. So still get paid full salary. I was never furloughed or anything like that. I just worked from home. They gave me the gear and everything. And then I was just able to come downstairs later and jump on doing drum covers. And now even on certain days, jump on and do a podcast. I've also...
Yeah, I love working from home, dude. I think it's the best thing in the world.
Oh, yeah.
But sometimes I realize my kids are off school at the moment. So I always do the school run. I take them to school, I pick them up, and I work. Because they were off for school, I didn't leave the house Thursday or Friday, I think, last week. That's not too healthy, but I don't mind. I really don't mind. I love it.
Do you work a second job at all, or is it just kind of the drums and your main job, and then just looking after the kids?
Yeah, just so I deliver work-based apprenticeship in hospitality. So I was a hospitality manager for like 20 years. And you become a general manager and you're working 60, 70 hours a week and and then I had a bit of a midlife crisis where, I'm not seeing my kids here. I'm doing all these hours. It's not like I'm a paramedic or a fireman and there's a purpose to me working all these hours. So I found this job because I had done an apprenticeship myself and yeah, not looked back. So now I'm contracted for 38 and a half hours a week where I used to work about 70. So it's like, wow, weekends off. Like at the moment, it's bank holiday weekend. I'd be working. You know what I mean? So it's transformed my life. And I don't think if I had done that, I would have picked up the drums either.
Hmm.
You
Yeah,
know what I
mine
mean?
was more of a. Well, my second job came a lot later. I just kind of worked the main job and then doing YouTube as a little bit of a side hobby at the time. But I had a friend of mine who works in the restaurant industry. They
Mm.
had invited me out for one day just to do like a dishwashing duty and as
Mm.
well as like help out and everything else. And I ended up really liking it. And it's just a real small restaurant, really. It's not really like any of the big chains or anything like that. Just local
Mm.
family owned.
Yeah.
And I've not left ever since. And it's pretty good too because number one, you get some pretty good tips too. And when you do like good work and everything. So people are
Yeah.
really nice. Everyone's getting by, I should say. They're doing what they can to get by because they got either their own health issues or their own uh, personal family issues too. So
Yeah.
it's a good living too, and it helps cover the rent costs living with the parents. That's what we say.
Cool.
So going into like your goals for the future, I guess what's your plans and goals for this year and beyond with YouTube, and I guess anything outside of YouTube?
Yeah. So I kind of want to keep on growing my channel. I want to keep on improving. So I've just finished grade 3 of my drum lessons. So I'd like to be at grade 5 within the next couple of years. I think is a realistic goal. So that would improve my drumming and take on harder songs. I really want to start doing double bass. So I don't do double bass yet. Something I really want to do. I'd like to, get another 1,000 subs, but I really want to start becoming a bit more of an influencer in the drum community. And that's where kind of my Tech Hub series came in, where it's almost me giving back. So this is my tips. This is, I'm working this stuff out so you don't have to. Just follow my guides, do what I do and really help. And, someone like Drumman 190 who has inspired me, he helps out the community. And even if his him being modest, he can't admit he is the biggest influencer in our drum community. I'd like to be on my way to being someone like that who, I can help people get started. I can influence them getting followers and subs. I can guide our community. And, maybe I'd like to play on stage one day as well. That would be pretty cool.
Just like a local venue.
Yeah.
It'd be the bar too. Everybody gets drunk there, and then
Yeah.
somebody starts a little fight.
Or playing without sheet music all the time. That's something I do want to do. I'd love to be able to pick up a song from just hearing it, like a lot of you do by by sound and by listening. I'd love to do that, but at the moment it's not possible. So that's
He's not
another
at the
thing.
black belt status yet.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm cool with that. I've only been playing for 3 years. So I don't think it's very long.
Well, it was actually pretty good. You actually did give me the sheet music because when we were doing our collaboration, I was just looking at how the rock band had did theirs, and I noticed there was a lot more of the splashes in between. And I should have just kind of stuck it the way I was more comfortable with playing because I was trying too hard to do what the sheet music was telling me, and so that one, I will admit, that one was getting a little frustrating. So it took a good few tries just to get it right. That's why I sent you so many clips of footage there because I was trying to get it right.
Yeah.
So.
Well, for me, the drum sheet music is how to play the song, but it's also a guide. So don't get me wrong, I don't always play it perfectly. If there's a bit I can't play, I'll figure out something else. and I'll play something in this place. Like something I'm working on. I'm working on triplet fills. But when there's a fast song with a triplet fill, a year ago I'd just play 16th notes and forget about the trip. Because I'm using a drumless track anyway. You're not going to know I didn't play it. And the only people that will really notice is someone who's played that track that knows there's a triplet fill there. You know what I mean? So you can adapt and make it work. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
You try to incorporate it into your play style too, and then see how it plays out. Make sure it sounds good. I think it was Good Times, Bad Times by John Bonham from Led Zeppelin. I never noticed. He actually did a little triplet with his bass drum during parts of the verse there. So it was like, it's so different, but it actually fits with the song. So that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
So good luck to you, buddy. Let's see. I actually look forward to seeing those ones in the future.
Yeah.
I always had to laugh because you were always like the first guy who would comment on any video I had put on too. So I think eventually I'll have to reward you with a t-shirt at some point, but is that your way of like also trying to be interactive with the drum community? Try to like also help them too?
Yeah. So I know how cool it feels, especially when you first start out and you're trying to grow, when people start commenting on your videos. And, I always try to find, every single day I'm trying to find new drummers to follow. And, I'll search for drum covers and put it in like date order. And I'm looking for people who've just started or played the song I like. If they've got more than, and there are a lot of drummers with high numbers of subs, like 100,000 and ridiculous, but I don't know these people. They're not in our community. You know what I mean? So I think that there's different types of drummers on YouTube. There's like the really high subs who I think get the high subs because of the music they're playing. So they're playing really modern music, and the people that love that music finds them and discovers them, and they're awesome drum players. And then you've got the likes of us, that we are hobby drummers, we're YouTubers. It's a different one. So I'm looking for us. You know what I mean? And if you've got probably more than 2,000 subs, I'm probably not going to interact with you because you don't need me. I mean, if it's an epic song, I'm going to tell you, that was awesome. And I will give you props, but I'm looking for people with low numbers, low views to encourage and say, look, come on, you're doing really well, keep at it, type of thing. So I'm always on YouTube, honestly. I used to just be once, it's on all the time. YouTube's on all the time if there's a new track. So yeah, and certain people like yourself, I have the notification turned on. So there's people, in our direct community that I've done a collab with, or I get on really well with, that I just get notified as soon as they do a track. So it's probably, if you don't get a comment with me in the first 2 minutes, it's because I'm busy. So
I'm always kind of holding my breath. I'm trying to see if somebody else will be first.
Yeah, I'm pretty quick at my comments for the people I've hit notify on.
Yeah, that's why I always gotta respond like thanks, Ash, or just something like that, just so I don't leave you hanging or something like that. So.
Yeah. Or one day I'm not going to respond because of like a technical glitch or something. You're going to be like, okay, Ash is either dead or he doesn't like this track. Yeah. Ash, do you like this track?
Either that or he's now decided to ignore me. Like that. All right, but no, thank you so much. That actually really means a lot. So, in all seriousness, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so we're now reached that segment of the podcast. Now I give my interviewees a little freedom to ask me anything, or if there's something you would like to get off your chest.
Yeah, what made you start this music podcast?
Let's see. When I first started off with my channel, I was just doing drum covers. I obviously had a job, so I was good financially. I didn't have to worry about anything. And I think it was me being stupid at the time, thinking like, okay, I'll just post a video. It was pretty much for a song that didn't really get a whole lot of like drum covers on it. It was Bolt Throwers, No Guts, No Glory was the first video I ever did. So I thought, there's not really a whole lot of people there, but I know there's a lot of metalheads who might stumble on Bolt Thrower and maybe they'll find out about this song. It turned out it didn't really work that way. So I wasn't getting a whole lot of views, and I was really just getting subs from people I knew personally who were just like being like, hey, cool, I wish you best of luck, that sort of thing too. So I tried keep expanding it at some point,
Mm.
and it still just kept going slow. So I tried doing drum covers as much as I could, and it came to me more of last year when I wanted to get more into podcasting, because being locked in COVID here, and I needed to figure out how to diversify myself to make myself and my channel a lot better. So that's why I wanted to do the podcast. So initially it started off a little bit rough because I was trying to interview a friend who was a drummer. He's now very, very talented. He's now actually playing in bands. I should maybe band, but I think he also does session musician work on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And he currently resides in Nashville. So it took a little bit because we had to keep moving it around because obviously his schedule's unpredictable. But I eventually got him, and I was so happy. Afterwards, I decided I was going to try to incorporate other inspirations, because I saw Drumman 190's 5 Strokes at 5, his little podcast.
Yeah.
And did you do one with Drummer's Key, his little...
Yeah, I did the first ever one.
Oh, really? You were the first?
Yeah.
I didn't get on it yet, but I did see it, and it was when he did a Throwback Drummer, and that inspired me too. Originally, first I was... Well, my mom kind of talked me out of it, but originally I was going to try to do some of the same drummers that Drumman and some of the other folks did, but I realized I had to kind of do it a little differently, and I was happy to get, let's see if I remember, there was a drum teacher I got on, and then I got Eric on. And then,
yeah, I remember that one.
Actually, recently, then I finally got a guitar player, and this one I tried to diversify too, and I was just looking around, typing in through Google search and stuff like that, and I did find a real good guitar player. His name was Pierce, and he came on, and I'm so happy I got him on too. Then I started getting drummers out of our community too. So I did get Throwback Drummer, Drummer's Key. Now I eventually got you after some talk. I also did get Sacha, Virtua drummer.
Yeah, he's a legend from the UK. Me and him are bonded. I actually had a video call with him the other day. We've actually spoken. It's pretty cool.
Really? Is he doing pretty good?
Yeah, he's good. He's a great guy.
All right. I did get him, but he's next week, so I should be happy.
Yeah, awesome. That's gonna be fun.
Right now, it was at first you would have thought it'd been like a drum podcast, since I mostly talked with drummers, but I did want to make a music podcast because the name All Music Matters, and that's meant to incorporate everybody else, but at least talking with drummers and even those who perhaps have a good audience, it was at least somewhere good to start before we start expanding it out, and then maybe turning this into maybe more than just a hobby. It would be maybe a side hustle.
Yeah. So if you could, who's your ultimate person you want to interview? Like if you could pick anyone, okay, you've just, this podcast is made it. Who is your number one guest? Who are you getting?
I literally got this question 4 times in a row, believe it or not.
Have you?
Oh yeah. No. It's always good. I always like to share it too, but
I hope you answer the same every time, or are you changing your answer every time?
Well, I also got to keep tabs of it too, but this one in particular, no, I kept it the same. I know I talked with Eric about this, and I told him George Kolias would be one I would like to interview. He's a Greek drummer who plays in one of the death metal bands, Nile. He's mainly known for his insane drum playing, but he does other drum teachings, and he plays other styles, but like everybody knows him mostly for his insane death metal drumming style. So he would be one, and one recently that I stumbled upon, and I remember listening to his music, was Sammy Hagar. And I remember him because he came after David Lee Roth, and that was in '86 on Van Halen. But he had also played in bands like Montrose, and he did his own little solo projects there. So I thought he would always be an interesting one. And I've had loads of respect for him too. If I had to be honest with him, I would have said, I love you, Sammy, and I think you were definitely a great replacement, but it's still David Lee Roth over you in terms of Van Halen. So I don't know. It feels like it would be really tough. I feel like I would try to maybe reach out to anyone really. It would be like any rappers really. It would be nice seeing like Snoop Dogg or something like that, and just kind of talk like that.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Yeah.
I mean, when we get to it at some point, I mean, that's the thing. It's all music matters in that. So it's like not really supposed to stick to any particular genre. It's supposed to at least expand out. So
yeah.
but we are still building, so we're working there. We're working there.
That's good. It's a solid start. Solid start. Keep doing what you're doing. It's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying getting to know these people. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. I guess got anything else?
Just wanted to kind of give a shout out to some drummers. Obviously, we've got our online drum community, but there's a particular handful that I've grown really close to quite recently. So I just wanted to give props to Bruce Baxter, Daddy Drums, Drumatic, Isaac Drums, Mike Few, Virtual Drummer, Tayson Wade, TW Drums, and Throwback Drummer. I just wanted to give them props, and I appreciate you guys. You're epic.
Is Mike also from the UK? Because I actually had a phone talk with him.
Mike
and he sounded like he got a thick accent.
He's South African, Mike.
Oh, he is? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, when I was talking to him, I was saying, like, man, he's got that thick British accent in him.
He's got a really deep, like, bassy voice, though. It's awesome. He sounds epic. Like, he should do, like, film trailers or something. Yeah, he's cool.
Or he could be like an Amazon Audible voiceover.
Like yeah, totally.
All right. Did you have anything else before we jump to the last question?
No.
All right. So the last question is, what sort of hopeful message could you give to musicians out there who are in our shoes, maybe don't have much of an audience or struggling to make it big one day?
Just keep on working at your craft like me. Yeah, keep progressing, never stop learning, keep at it. I know how slow a YouTube channel can grow. I mean, Jesus, like it felt like it took forever to hit 100 subs. Now look at me, I'm over 1,000 now. It's insane. But just concentrate on your content. Like you can do all the engaging you can, all the social media you can, but actually focus on the content. And it's really about how, if you're specializing something, specialize in it. So if there's a certain genre, be an expert. Get known for something. I'm known for my collaborations. I want to be known for my tech stuff, hence the Tech Hub series. And just work on your image and your reputation and really hone those skills. But don't forget, it all comes down to the most important thing is the drumming. If you're a drummer, if you're a musician, whatever your instrument is, even if the instrument is your voice, that is the thing that matters the most. Everything else we do, the video editing, the audio, the YouTubing, the social media, that doesn't mean anything if the first bit isn't where it should be. You know what I mean? So focus on that, and it will naturally happen, and everything will naturally grow. So just don't give up. I mean, I don't ever felt like giving up, but I certainly at some point, if you were told me you would be in a community and you'd have over 1,000 subs, I'd be like, yeah, no, it's not going to happen. And I'm fine with that. I was fine with that. But I kept going in and got almost discovered, like so many of us, by Drumman 190, who's inspired me. But for me, his inspiration, I'm trying to pay it forward. And I'm trying to do what he did for me with other people now. So pay it forward as well. If someone shows you kindness, whoever helped you get started, do it for someone else. However somebody influenced you, make sure you influence other people, and let's all grow together and spread the love. Spread the love.
Spread love. That sort of thing.
I don't think I can do that. I can't do that. I can do that.
We can do that. We could do that. We could do that. All right. I guess anything else we had before we wrap up here?
No, I think I was pretty deep in the end. I didn't mean to get so deep there, but yeah, no.
No. I think any sort of that inspiration work, that's actually very good. That's really some stuff, because I think COVID kind of threw us into a little pit of despair, really, because you couldn't really do a whole lot, and depending on what you thought of, like any of the mandates, lockdowns, or anything like that, it was really kind of like what our states were saying. I don't know how much it was with you guys. It was more of what your government says, maybe not so much what the individual. Do you guys go by states, or is it more like counties, or I don't know how
it's the
works.
Country.
The whole country.
The country. Yeah, it's the whatever the country's doing. Yeah.
Well, ours is a lot bigger, so that's probably why. That's why we need a whole bunch of governors and everybody else telling us what to do. So
yeah.
All right, so everybody, we've reached the end of our little interview here. My guest today was Ash Wells, and we actually talked a pretty good bit here. So, I guess Ash, is there any more shout outs or anything else you want to give before we wrap up?
No, just big props to yourself. Thank you for having me on this show. It's great, and to be on it very early on, because you will keep doing this and you will keep growing it. So I appreciate the invite, and appreciate what you're doing for our community as well. Whatever music community that is, giving people this exposure is going to help them greatly. So thank you very much, dude. I appreciate you.
I think it's one of the sayings, I scratch your back, you scratch mine, and that sort of saying.
Yeah,
or,
totally.
Or as you said, it's definitely good to give kindness back. So
yeah,
you show me generosity for your comments, and I wanted to give it back. So
awesome.
All right. So everyone, this was Ash Wells. I'm your host, Brian, and it was a great interview having here. So Ash, stay safe, stay tuned.
You too. Take care.